Let me ask you a question. Are you afraid of success? Now, I know that sounds crazy. Everybody wants success, right? They want to be a millionaire. They want to be a billionaire. They want to have a big house. They want to contribute to all kinds of worthwhile causes. Everybody says yes to that. But a really interesting thing happens along this business acquisition journey. And that is, at some point, this becomes real. When you're going through all the courses, when you're looking at the books and the videos and you're imagining and you're doing your affirmations, those things all feel great. You can see yourself hopefully in those scenarios. But as you get further down the path, you realize, you know what? This isn't make-believe. This is real. I might actually acquire a business. And I want to give you two examples of mentees that I had. The first one was a professional athlete, very successful on world-class teams. And I remember him saying to me, Bruce, this shit's getting real. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, I've built a team and I've got the lawyers and the accountants, but now I've got LOIs signed and acquisition financing is in place. And this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And I said, yeah, well, that's the goal, that it is going to happen. And he said, yeah, but this shit's getting real. And when I asked him about that, I said, you've been on a big stage as a professional athlete. Yeah, but this is different. These people, these board members, the sellers, all these people are counting on me. And it's just different. Now, ultimately, he recognized that. Ultimately, and it doesn't surprise me based on the skill that he had achieved in sport, that he eventually got through. He had some failures along the way. He had some deals that didn't work out. But eventually, and I got an email from him 2 days ago now, he's done 4 acquisitions, and he's got a series more that now are in the due diligence phase. So he's gotten through that. And he said, was it a tough journey? Did he learn lessons? Did he learn basically what he shouldn't have done along the way? Yeah, he has. Did he also, which I appreciate a lot, said, I want to thank you how much I learned in that year when I was in the VIP mastermind. So from that standpoint, I appreciate that. But yeah, this shit's getting real. That happens to just about everybody. So if you are feeling that, don't be surprised. You got to work through that. The second one is that a mentee as well. He had some struggles putting together his law and accounting firms, but he did that successfully, got 100% discounts on both of them. And this is recent when people say that you still can't do it. No, you can. Just got to work at it. And he certainly worked at it. But he said after he did that, he fell into a depressive state and he wasn't really doing anything. And I would argue that that was fear of success. He had been successful. He'd now gotten his board together, his law firm, his accounting firm, and now he was on to, because he had talked to financial institutions, on to acquisitions. At which point, yeah, this is getting real. So recognize that when you are in the process of doing this, you're doing a lot of studying. You will end up learning the process. And again, that's kind of theoretical. When you're actually doing it, talking to sellers, talking to banks, getting ready to close on your signed LOIs, it becomes real because of the financial commitments. And it also becomes real from the standpoint that a lot of people are counting on you. You're about ready to buy a business. You're about ready to take care of those people in the business, hopefully. And you will be not usually prepared for the steps that you're going to go through. This will be out of your comfort zone. You've never managed an organization for the most part. You've never run these businesses. It's the reason you have a board around you. That's the reason you have professionals. If I'm working with you, you can benefit from some of my experience, hopefully. As the first and second example I just told you, we worked through both of those situations. But don't think you're unique. You're going to be out of your comfort zone. And then, just like most things, when you break through a comfort zone, it becomes almost second nature. but you have to go through that period where it's uncomfortable. One of the things that people freak out about are the objections they're going to get. So I would encourage you to go over to brucewhipple.com, get a free class, and right in the middle of that website, you'll see Take My Free Class, which is on the top 10 objections in acquiring a business. Not only do I list the objections, but I list what I found to be the best answers for those objections. So I hope that you recognize that fear is part of this process. This is all new to you. And so you will work your way through those situations, hopefully. But there are some people that freeze in that, and there are some people that say, okay, I'm going to be uncomfortable, but this is important enough for me that I'm going to push forward. And I hope you're in that latter group. But thinking that you're unique, no, everybody goes through that step.